Hey, what's up, everyone? Thankfully, I am feeling better than I was earlier. Anything gets better than what I was earlier. And so I'm deciding to make a few videos right now and try to get them uploaded throughout the day. So I just decided to take some time to make this video regarding what happened yesterday. And then there's another experience from a few days ago, from last Thursday. For some reason, it seems that I always attract these individuals, and we always wind up running into those people when I'm there. My parents always wind up running into those people, those kinds of people. Now, approach this with an open mind. Many of you out there who are Mandela affected, this person was Mandela affected as well, and they talked about a lot of things that I discuss. For one, for example, alternate realities, parallel universes. And my daddy was telling me about him, about this guy that he met. He said, "Man, I wish you could have talked to him. I heard them talking, but we had to go." The dog is barking in the background. He wants me to take him for a walk, so I've got to take him for a walk and let him do his business and all of that. We had to put him in the garage for a while because something happened, and then we had to put him in the garage and just keep him in there for a while. But yeah. So if you hear him barking, I apologize. I'm going to have to take him for a walk right after this and take care of him. But I wanted to go ahead and share this experience from yesterday. So last night, we were taking my daddy to work, and we had stopped at the Pilot Travel Center. And you know, unfortunately, he was in a hurry. He had to be in a hurry to get to where he's going. He was heading to Missouri, so he wanted to get there as quickly as possible. And this person started talking about everything. Now, what brought this up was he was watching The Simpsons. And my daddy said he was watching The Simpsons, and daddy was saying that, man, he said, that's my son's favorite show. Like, that's because legitimately, that's one of my favorite shows. Homer Simpson. He tells a lot of truth right there. A lot of truth. And daddy was saying, there's a lot of truth in that show. And he said, it is truth. Like, that show right there is truth. And all of their predictions come true. He started talking about one of the main creators of The Simpsons. He said, I mean, I don't know who, but that guy started talking and stating that one of the main creators of The Simpsons has actually admitted to some people that he lived in an alternate timeline, that he lived in a parallel universe, that he is a time traveler somehow, or universe traveler, and stated he had already lived through many different things that we have experienced now. And so thus he incorporated it into the cartoons, and predicted many things to have happened. Even predicting something to happen during the Trump presidency, some kind of major thing to happen. Of course, I wouldn't put it past a lot of those people to do something, cause it to happen during this administration, but cause it to happen against this administration, since they're so adamant against them, dead set against it. But back to the topic of what he was talking about. He was talking about pretty much the Mandela effect, parallel universes, and the truth behind the Illuminati, what runs this entire society. He was talking about the Masons and how the dollar bill, it spells out Masons. I wish I could have heard it all, but he was spelling how the dollar bill spells out Masons, and he attracted a crowd of people. There was like 2 different people in the upstairs area of the Pilot Travel Center. And this one other guy, he said, I've got to get going, and by the time I'd gotten there, he had to get going anyway. Sadly, I didn't get to speak to them. So by the time I got there, I had missed all the conversations. But he talked about how that's why, 9/11 was predicted on The Simpsons. All of these various Super Bowl wins and scandals were predicted by The Simpsons. President Trump's presidency predicted by The Simpsons. Many different dates predicted by The Simpsons. One of the head writers from The Simpsons works at CERN, and is an astrophysicist, and actually predicted the God particle, or the Higgs boson particle. And he also talked about how he has actually gone through portals. He said he's gone through portals. He said, I have witnessed alternate realities. He said, I lived in an alternate reality. And he said, Daddy was saying he was dead serious, looked him in the eyes, and this one guy looked like, okay, he said, I'm out of here. And he just left, probably to go make fun of him. But he said, I guess he wasn't into it. He didn't believe it. But he said, guess what? He said, once he does believe it, it's going to be too late. He said, it's going to be too late. And he said, yes, there's a God, which we know that. But he said, there's a God. He said, that's for sure. But a lot of things, it's just that people don't know the whole picture. He said, it's not like what people think. Things are not like what people think they are. And he started talking about how, he said, I've been to a parallel universe, to an alternate reality. He said, I came from a world where some of this has already happened. And he said, I also came from a place where things were slightly different, like we experience, sort of like the Mandela effect. He said it was like listening to another version of me. He told him it was like listening to another version of his son, me. And he said, he wished I was there to hear him, but I wasn't there to hear him. And he started talking about everything that I talk about, and I share on this channel. I share on here, and he started talking about all of it. And from parallel universes and alternate realities, and the beings, the beast system, the beasts. He said, by the way, the beasts, those beings, they're all around us. He said, I've seen them, I've witnessed them, and he said, they're all around us all the time. He said, as a matter of fact, they're probably, he said, they could be listening to me right now. They're probably listening to me. He said, they probably see me. He said, they are everywhere, all the time, all of them. He said, he's experienced them and seen them, and he said, they're everywhere. Good and bad beings, but they are everywhere, all around you, all the time. He said, they see and hear you, and they interact without you even knowing it. And he said, I've seen them. He said, they're listening to me right now, watching me, I'm sure. And he said, these beasts, these beings, these creatures. And he was talking about the beast system. And he said, sadly, a lot of people, he said, so many people, we've left our old world and we've left other worlds. And he started talking about this, pretty much this entire phenomenon summed up in a nutshell. But he said that he gave vivid memories from his alternate reality. He said, I am from a parallel universe. He said, I don't belong here. He said, I'm not from here. He said, I'm eventually going to go home. But he said, whatever's going to be will be. People worry too much. He said, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's inevitable. Fate, basically. He's like, we might be able to manipulate reality and things, but whatever's going to happen inevitably is going to happen, and there's nothing that we can really do about it. And he was talking about how, sorry about the dog barking in the background, I've got to go ahead and walk him in a little while, but he woke up and wants to go for a walk. But anyway, he's in the garage, so it amplifies the bark as well, but he's got a very loud bark. But anyway, back to this topic. He started talking about parallel universes and how he lived in one. He was in an alternate reality, and he said, I experienced and lived out an alternate reality. And he lived that alternate reality, and he said he vividly remembers various things that happened there. He said for a time period very recently, he said, I was even in an alternate reality, and he said, I left the body that was in this world. And he said, I was in this body, and he said, then I left this body. And he told Daddy that he left his body, and he said, for all I knew, I was dead. He said, he was like, he left this body and went to an alternate reality, living out another life with another version of him. He said, I didn't know what happened. And he said, everything was completely different. Something slightly and completely. And he said, I was living out another existence. And he told him that, he said for months and months he lived somewhere else, and then all of a sudden he was pulled back to this body, and he shifted back to this body, and he said, now I'm back in this world again. And he said, I'm back, but he said this world is slightly different than the other one, the one that he remembered, but he's back in this body. And he said he knows he's pulled back to this body again, and he said, when I'll leave, I don't know when I'll be. He said, when I'm leaving this body, but he said he was so serious that he switched bodies, that he literally went to somewhere else, and now he had come back to this body. He said it was completely different, a completely different world, and the other one was slightly different, and he said this one is slightly different, but he went to this one, and he said he's got vivid memories of parallel and alternate realities, parallel universes, alternate realities. He said people will think I'm crazy, and then he started telling him that I talk about this stuff all the time. And he was saying that he was talking about The Simpsons. He said that show is truth right there. There's a lot of truth in that show. And he had vivid knowledge of various books and various things, and he talked about how Hollywood does dark magic, dark arts, black magic, voodoo, and the Illuminati sacrifices, like Robin Williams was likely one of the sacrifices. Many others, like all of these people talking about the dark side, and he said using the inverse pentagram on the dollar bill, bringing up evil beings, evil spirits, and raising the dead, and putting, they said these celebrities, some of them, might not even be the same celebrity you remember. Their spirit, their real soul is gone, and something else has taken over them. He said they're just walking around in a shell, but they're no longer them. They're no longer the one you remember, because they're gone already. And he said that he left his body. Now he's back in this body again. He was living out a life somewhere else. And he said he's gone through portals, and he said various people are going to go through different portals. And he said we're going to go through different portals, and he's been through them. And he said that God operates very differently than what people think. And he said there's a God. There is a God without a doubt. He said I know that 100%. But he said it's just not, everything is not completely what people traditionally think or have always thought, but similar but different. He said it's things are completely different than what you think from what he's experienced, and I'm just relaying what he stated. And he stated that he experienced that other reality, and then he's in this other parallel universes. And he said I've been to many of them, and he said I know there's parallel universes. He said I just keep shifting and just keep moving until I'm going home. He said until we go home. He said soon there's going to be a time period where many people who are like us, who are awakened, disappear. He said we vanish. But he said that there are people that disappear, but yet their body remains here, but something else takes over. It'll seem like they're them, but it's not them. And according to what he was stating, some of the people will vanish and we'll go somewhere else. Our other self, our consciousness goes somewhere else. And he was talking about it going home, to our home. And he was like, I'm from somewhere else. He said, this is not where I belong. This is not where I'm at, but I'm here until I get there. And he said, until we make it home. But he was talking about how, this is just what he was relaying, what he was stating. And then he talked about in detail the Mandela effect experiences that we experience. So, I wanted to share. This is urgent information that everyone really needs to hear. Because I run into these people all the time. It's like they flock to me, they attract to me, they're just around me. They just appear. People talking about healing, ascension, awakening, alternate realities. It just happens around me. And so he continued talking and said that he was going to go through the portal again. Through a portal again. He said, we're all going to, those of us who are awakened, basically, to all of this, are going to. And that very soon, he said, if you're aware of this, he said, I need to spread this information. He said, that is my duty. He said, I am here to spread, I'm put into this world. Who knows, maybe he was given to spread to different versions of this world, different realities, as he said, different universes, parallel universes, to spread the truth. And he said he's going to spread this truth. And, money's the root of all evil and all that stuff. This other guy was with him, and he said, I am so glad I met you today. The strange thing is he knew what that guy was thinking before he said it. And he also talked about how there's reptilians and bad beings, and and the Illuminati is real and runs society and runs these things, and we know it. And that these elites are run by this evil, dark system, and the beast system. And it's inevitable. It's going to happen, but it's also going to crash. And he said things are going to go down very soon. But he said that we're going home, but our bodies might be left here, but it won't be us in these bodies. He said that from the sound of it, we're going home, but our bodies remain here. And everyone will think it's still you here, but it's not. That's the way he put it, I think. I wish I could have heard him say it all, and I still heard him talking about, and he knew what that guy was thinking, and which book he was mentioning before he ever even said it. That guy knew it. And he said, how did you know that? That gives me chills. He said, everything I've been thinking about lately and feeling strongly, you give me chills. And he said, it's all truth, brother. It's all truth, man. He was telling him, and I just happened to hear the end of the conversation. And I didn't get to talk much because we had to get going, and they were gone by the time we got back. So this man, this person was a traveler, and he said he had been to all of these places, and he was trying to spread and speak the truth while there was still a chance to do it. And I had to get this message out. This is an urgent message. This must be heard, and I wanted to share it. My personal experience. Peace, much love. I've got many more of individuals that I've run into lately, especially since I've been seeing the 333. After the 333 stopped, I started seeing these people, these individuals, travelers, cosmic beings, spiritual beings, things happening, people coming to me. So, with that being said, I just want to share this. Peace and much love to everyone. God bless you all, and may the Lord bless us and forgive us of all of our sins and take us where we're meant to go. Peace. I hope to speak with all of you again very soon. I just decided to share this message and this personal experience. Peace. Give me your thoughts. Bye. I love you all.